Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the One Conscious Love Network. I'm thrilled that you're here, and I'm thrilled that these beautiful people are here to help us answer some beautiful questions today and introduce themselves and get to know you a little bit more. And so, thank you so much for attending. And with that, let's get started. So, welcome to the One Conscious Love a workshop today for awakening connection. And that's just so important to all of us, I know for sure, with ourselves and others. And so I just wanted to open up today with a quote, and it goes something like this. So, love, when chosen with awareness, becomes not just a feeling, but a way of being, a sacred path home. And so I hope that inspires a little bit of the conversations today and that you guys feel that good vibe kicking off here with the group. And so our first question is about the contrast between unconscious versus conscious love. And with that question, I would love for you guys to introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you do, and then answer the question at the same time. And we can go in the order that you're here on the screen, and so it's easy for us to remember who goes next. And so, Marty, please, with that, get us started.
I'm Marty Bugby. I am near Detroit, Michigan. Right now, I'm a breathwork facilitator. I did, well, 25 years in law enforcement, and I was also with the Air Force Reserve doing anti-terrorism after 9/11. And so in those modes, I got to a point where I needed to downregulate. And that's what led me to breathwork. So I'm very honored to be part of this panel. My background in these topics is pretty much trial and error. Having not been given, very good role models coming up, I had to just figure it out as I went along. So I've got lots of experience. I look at the first off, before I get into the topic, I can be contacted at justbreathe1234.com. That's my website. I do online and in-person breathwork sessions. So anyway, okay, so on to the topic, conscious love versus unconscious love. And, there's plenty of self-help books and such written about the topics. I guess the best way to describe it is to use, and as far as my perspective, and like I say, these are all my opinions and my perspective based on my experiences. Um, the best metaphor that I can think of is conscious love would be going about it with a roadmap and a GPS. You have an objective, you have a route, okay, you have tools. Unconscious love, I believe, is more like driving with a blindfold on and having 100 people in the back seat telling you which way to go. That's your subconscious mind talking to you, the sum total of all your experiences, functional and dysfunctional and such. So that's how I see the difference. Clearly, conscious love would be the way to move toward. All these other factors that we bring into it, in part, make us who we are and make us individual. To try to run away from those things, I think, is doing ourselves a disservice, and it's just kind of disingenuous. But to be aware of them and to, yeah, just factor your background and you know uh, experiences in with who you are now, and use them on that navigating that roadmap of conscious love.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, Marty. That's really well said. Thank you so much. Heather, please, would you like to go next?
Just take myself off mute, and I hope that you can all hear me.
Yes.
It's lovely to be here, Melanie. Thank you for inviting me. I'm
Mhm.
based in Essex in the UK, and I work for women who are 40 plus who find themselves solo. and wish to do the inner work to align, to magnetize in their life partner. And I work for people worldwide on Zoom, as well as people that are local to me here in the Energy Studio, where I teach meditation and psychic development. So, to answer your question, what is the difference between unconscious and conscious love? I feel that unconscious love is what most of us were conditioned into. It's reactive, it's about filling a void, not seeing a soul. And it's based on old wounds, inherited beliefs, unmet needs, and we chase connection because we fear being alone or we abandon ourselves to be chosen. And I feel that conscious love is a whole different vibration. It's awake, it's rooted in self awareness. Self awareness for me starts when we work on self worth, and it says, I see you, but I also see me, and I won't lose myself to keep you. It's love with our eyes wide open. There's presence, there's mutuality, there's accountability, and it's much deeper than just chemistry. It's about resonance.
Mm. Oh, beautiful. I love that. Love that word. Every time I hear it, I just get shivers. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Tom, please.
Thanks, Melanie, and thanks everyone for being here and people watching. Thanks, Melanie, for creating this container where truth, consciousness, spirit, soul, it just love, it flows and shares. So I am used to be a fitness guru, nutritionist all my life, and throughout that, I realized that any transformation, whether it's physical, with our health, financial, with our relationships, with our own inner peace and knowing and purpose path, it's an inside job. It's not just doing the diet or doing the workouts or keeping the spreadsheets for finances. Whatever, there's an alignment I realize that needs to occur in addiction, which I've had my experiences with. In order to transform, to truly become the tadpole to the frog or the caterpillar to the butterfly, there's an inside change or a remembering that must occur. And so over the years, I've transferred from Coach Tom, the fitness guy, to Dr. Tom Having. In fact, I'm on the verge of getting my doctorate in metaphysics because I care about this so much. And I help people. I'm a soul health doctor, reclaim the health of their soul. And I would say love is one of the best treatments ever. I think the Beatles had it figured out. In fact, you probably won't be able to see it, but I have love. Like love is so important to me. If you look there, there's a whole love,
Mm.
and each of those it has all of these quotes. So every day I'll look up there, and I've struggled with love. I came from a family that love was not the predominant vibration, and I've experienced unconscious love on both ends where I needed to be a certain way so I can be loved. I needed to perform a certain way so I could be loved. And I expected a certain thing from someone who said they love me. And that was basically to keep me safe and cover up all the wounds and all the, I call them the ogres, those beliefs about life and ourselves. And so I've experienced both firsthand. And I can say that over the years, in my own remembering, have really dived into love being the solution. Soul, love, essence, God being the solution. But for a lot of people, the word love triggers something because they just had a bad relationship, or their marriage didn't work out, or their parents didn't love them. It's just like God. The word God triggers people because they didn't have a good experience in the church or wherever they experienced God or God was brought to them. So it's like I just invite everyone, open your mind, open your heart for a new experience with love. And it's an energy. It's a consciousness energy. But to speak on your question, man, if I'm just gonna nail it, like unconscious love is codependency. It's like it's like I need you to complete me. I love how you make me feel. If I don't have it, it's going to be bad, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to really hold on to it. It's either very exciting and endorphin releasing, or it's very, very depleting and can take people out of the flow for days, years, months, their lifetime. But conscious love is love without a need to possess. And I love the quote because that you did at the beginning, Melanie, because conscious love, in my experience, arises from awareness, from wholeness, our whole self, and soul alignment. I love you, and I am free with or without you. I love me. I am love. I share love. Love is the energy and the essence that flows through. And one thing I really want to speak on is there's this idea like, Melanie, you are loving. You are so kind. You always create a very safe space. And perhaps you're just doing that because that's your personality and that's your essence and you're letting love through. But I think when spiritual leaders in any category can, I'm gonna, I'm gonna I'm gonna intersect some different modalities here. If they can go from unconscious competence of what they're doing with sharing love and creating a loving resonance and make it into conscious competence where they're actually able to share and teach others how to do it, to live in love, to live in light, which means aligned with our soul. That's the move. That's the move that I am excited to see more of us taking, articulating out loud to help others how to align with love, with source, with light, so people feel love and that resonance of goodness and wholeness just by being in our presence. And we all have it. It's just there. It's there. Say, hey, remember me? Remember me? And it's remembering it, aligning with it, and letting it shine. So, unconscious love, boo. Conscious love, yay.
That's beautiful. I love that transformation from the realization. And that's the key, right? Is how to make it practice. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dorella.
Hello everyone. So I am Dorela Yepan. I am Romanian. I now live in Italy. I've also lived in France. And this is such a beautiful theme for us to talk about because I was on the verge of the divorce. And I'm sorry for the noise outside. I hope it will go away really
It's
fast.
all good. We can't hear it. We can only hear your beautiful voice.
Thank you. I'm so happy about that. So I met my husband, and it was something amazing. And then I wanted to divorce him. And then I learned, I believe, the conscious love. So I got out of the negative patterns into the beautiful relationship that we now have. And with that, I felt the need to work. Maybe it's not the need, it was the guidance to work with people everywhere, those who want to live that, to be able to live that. And to answer the question, I believe the conscious love means to understand that there is nothing that cannot come, that there is nothing that can exist if it's not coming from us. It's something I've learned, and since then, my life changed completely. Basically, I cannot end up into a situation, no matter how deep it hurts, if I didn't do something to get there. And learning how I can guide my life step by step, everything that I'm doing, I will understand that all I can feel is love. I have created that suffering. Therefore, I love myself, and now I can create something completely different. Of course, I created something that I love, and I love myself for that. I believe that conscious love means being present and assuming and taking responsibility for everything. And from there, we will live with love within and without.
It's such a beautiful inspiration, your story. It's just wonderful to hear it and for you to share it, and the realization, right, of going from within instead of seeking outside. That's such an important lesson. It's really, really good. Thank you for sharing. Henny.
Thank you, Melanie, for inviting me. And it's nice meeting all of you here, all health practitioner and health lover, and also the ones that are conscious about love. So that's all the reason. That's the reason why we are here. And thank you again, Melanie, for creating this beautiful space for everybody for sharing and to reach out with love. Yeah, I just want to introduce myself first. My name is Henny. I am from Vancouver, BC, Canada. By background, I am a physical therapist. I've been working in the last 15 years as a physical therapist locally in Vancouver. And at home, I am a mom to 2 kids. And I have a boy and a girl. My little girl is 5 and my older is 11. So talking about unconscious love and conscious love. So I can actually see that within myself and my family and also my practice as a physical therapist. At the beginning, like when I first become a mom, all the love I pour out were all unconscious. I was not realized, like at that time, I had to, when I give to my kids and my family, you automatically pour out your energy and love towards your family. And they all begin with unconscious. Like you just do it. Yeah. But as the day goes, you realize that the energy becomes very drained and then you pour out everything to others and you have nothing reserved for yourself or myself. And then it comes with the self-awareness that also is when your conscious love or my conscious love first towards myself begins to grow. And that is where healing begins from first lead by example first, because we have poured our energy towards caring for others. The first conscious love that I have experienced is actually back towards my own healing. And as I heal from being a young mom, being a professional young mom, and also in that healthcare field, I truly see the unconscious love that we have to develop within ourselves first. And then after you have the unconscious love within you, then you can actually spread it to people around you and to the client we care, and also to the moms I serve. And so then you will constantly be refilled by energy and also you will lead yourself into transformation, because by having this consciousness in awareness in where you are in space and where you are like in love, and whether you are giving the energy and love back to you yourself and to the community. And that's how we are transformed and how we actually heal and and grow our community with love and care. So that's what I see. And that's how we lead ourselves forward as we continue to serve others in the healthcare field.
Mhm. So beautiful, right? And you touched on that, like the parenting of a child, whether you're
Yeah.
the mother or the father, and how you pour yourself out until your cup is empty. That's a common feeling for a lot of parents, for sure. And so the beauty of recognizing that is very powerful, for sure, and will help a lot of people working with you, for sure. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mel.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. And the next question is like a very hot topic for sure, and a challenging one. I know for myself, the more aware I am of it, the more challenging it becomes, particularly when it comes to politics. But it is a tough one. So I would love to hear you guys' approach on this question. And so, what is conscious love in the term of conditional love versus unconditional presence? What does that mean? So, Marty, please answer that for us.
Well, these, like you said, these are hot topics. It's pretty common knowledge, or people already have a concept of it. I think to look at it in a dualistic sense, conditional love versus unconditional love is a little too simplistic. I think the answer and the joy is somewhere in between in how they're regarded. Okay, conditional love obviously is the transactional, conditional uh, situation where I will give you if you give me kind of situation. But that ignores a situation where if you have two people who come together and they want to grow together and they want to improve as individuals, as a couple, okay, that is somewhat conditional. But I think the difference is the condition isn't one person putting the condition on the other. If I want to enter into a relationship and I want to be a better person for that other person, and we both feel the same way, that's the choice I've made. And the belief is that you'll grow together, and through mutual generosity, you'll become stronger as a couple. Unconditional love, that's another interesting one. Obviously everybody wants to be loved for who they are, but there's aspects of ourselves that we could probably improve. And there's aspects of ourselves that have not worked out too well in the past that we need to really get rid of and work on in order to be our best selves, really a person. So to come into a relationship and demand, I want unconditional love, I want you to love me exactly how I am, it's kind of asking you to accept me at my lowest form. Okay. In lowest form, meaning based on my potential in a relationship and potential to grow and improve and be better for the relationship. So yeah, it's kind of to take a dualistic kind of approach. What's better, conditional and unconditional? I guess it's kind of there's two sides of the coin in each one. I mean, there's a functional aspect of either. Somebody who comes into a situation and just blindly accepts the other for who they are. I mean, that really starts to sound like codependence. You can be however you are, doesn't matter. I'm okay with it, and that's that's the trouble people get into. Instead of establishing their wants, their needs, putting some weight on those, and then seeking that out. So yeah, it's kind of I don't think there's an easy answer to what's, well, conditional love versus unconditional presence or unconditional love. It's kind of a gray area in between where I think the key is um, the mutual generosity. If it's reciprocal, then I think you're kind of in between. So yeah, I would hesitate to pick one over the other because then it just ignores a whole aspect of areas of relationships that get us all in trouble. And taken too far can really develop into something ugly. And I know we'll talk about attachment a little later, but yeah. So that's my perspective on it.
Oh, I love this mutual generosity. That's definitely always a welcome approach to any relationship. So thank you so much for sharing that, Marty. Heather.
Yes, it's a great question, isn't it? Conditional love versus unconditional presence. Using my own experience, having worked with many, many clients over the last 30 odd years, um, most of us grow, we grow up thinking love has to be earned, depending
Mm.
on the kind of family that we've been brought up with. Be good, we're told, and be quiet, and don't be too much, and then maybe you'll be loved. And conditional love, it makes us shapeshift. It's saying, I'll love you if you don't make me uncomfortable. And that is something that so many adults come to me with
Mm.
what they've experienced as a child. And I've worked with people that have had narcissistic parents or addictive parents. And obviously, each generation parents differently. And I think as we're moving out of the current dimension to a higher dimension, parenting is changing and things are shifting, hopefully for the better for the future generations. Um, Unconditional presence is the other side of the coin, if you like, and I feel that that's sacred. It doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior or bypassing boundaries. It means staying rooted in love, even when things are messy. It means showing up, not shutting down. It means holding space for someone, including yourself, without needing to fix or perform or to run away, because unconditional presence is the medicine that we're all really craving within. And I'm also not only speaking as a spiritual relationship coach. I'm speaking as a mother of three and a grandmother of eight. So I think conditional love versus unconditional, unconditional wins every time. And that's my take on it, Melanie.
No, I love the idea of unconditional presence being medicine. That sounds amazing. We should bottle that up. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tom.
Heck yeah, I will follow that up. I'm actually going to go a little into Bruce Lipton and with the unconditional presence being medicine. Let's just tie it into our physical body because unconditional presence is basically body-based freedom. Freedom. My heart is open even if yours is not. And that doesn't mean you tolerate being treated badly. It just means your inner peace isn't dependent on someone else's actions. Now, epigenetically, according to Bruce Lipton, conditional love triggers stress chemicals and creates different genes to be expressed, causing cancer, causing obesity, causing depression, anxiety. Like there's an epigenetic shift when we are always in that stressful conditional love state. The more often we are in the unconditional present state, we're releasing oxytocin, healing hormones, healing components in our bodies, and expressing our genes in a different way. So that state of being alone is medicine, literally medicine, proven by science. It's changing your epigenetics. Now, backing up, I love that you were clever with this question because you didn't say what's the difference between conditional love versus unconditional love. You said unconditional presence. And when I had to redefine love about 3 years ago because I needed a working definition for me. Love had always been conditional. My childhood, and even though my wife and I, my ex-wife, we came through very troubled childhoods, different. with where love was very conditional, and we agreed we wanted unconditional love. We made that vow, that agree. She is so wonderful. I'm wonderful. But yet we kept triggering each other's past programs, and that was never realized because I was waiting for her to give me unconditional love, and she was waiting for me to give her unconditional love. And no, the trade-off, the transaction never successfully occurred. And it was just one trigger. So instead of healing one another, we actually triggered. And it was a really tough divorce for me. And so, like, love, the word made me, it wasn't like I knew it was there, but it just wasn't there for me. So I decided love became unconditional being. And being and presence are pretty synonymous. So unconditional being. And that just means being rooted in awareness, not performance. And like you mentioned earlier about your child, like it's a love that holds a child without judgment. This is like the soul source, God's energy working through us unconditionally all the time. And what I learned is by changing a couple practices. One, thank you, I love you. I say that all the time to everyone because the more love I give, the more open I am to receive. And I feel love. I don't just say it haphazardly. I started the practice of looking in the mirror. Thank you, I love you. To me, right in the eyes. And something that was really effective. I'm going to tell you a really good story. I hope it doesn't take too long, but it's so on topic. So it broke my heart that this wonderful woman and I were not able to work together or work through our pre-existing beliefs and programs to actually enjoy that. And after the divorce was finalized, we did not talk for about 3 years. But about a year ago, I realized how much resentment I still had and how big of a weight that was in my heart. And so I started sending her unconditional love every morning, like literally sending her love. I do it for all my champions, what I call my clients. I do it for people. Just sending love. Something crazy has happened over the last month and a half. A family member told me that she was having some problems of some sort, and I reached out and said, "Hey, what's going on?" It sounded serious. Turns out she has cancer. And she didn't want to reach out to me to ask for support because she just felt like it wouldn't be okay. It'd be breaking rules and violating my boundaries. But I intuitively knew to give her unconditional love, unconditional presence, just to be there for her. And the conversations we've had since then in this space of unconditional presence are so healing and helpful, inspiring, aligned and true and authentic. And I have no intention, like my intention is not to get back together and get remarried. It's to be unconditionally present. And I'll catch ego saying, yeah, but remember when she did that? Remember, and I'll say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I aware? Am I aware of presence? And I'm able just to be. And surprisingly, sharing her that I'm no longer a fitness professional, I'm now on this soul health mission. She resonates with it so much that because cancer just made her go on her own spiritual journey now. And I'm like, wow, it's just the conversations we have. And she even shared something with me from a book she's reading, 365 Days to Pivot. She shared it with me via text because I sent her a love message this morning because she has chemo today. And I'm doing it without attachment, without expectations. And I'm getting so much feeling back. No sex, no kisses, no shared responsibilities, no shared financial, there's no the benefits you get normally out of a relationship when you're, but there's this spiritual unconditional presence she's holding for me and I hold for her, and it's really the essence of it is the unconditional presence has helped her, but it's helping me practice and practice it with myself when I'm by myself or when I'm doing something like this. Like with unconditional presence, I'm not nervous or worried what anyone's thinking of me. And if I catch myself going there, I'm like, am I aware? Ah, I'll just breathe into it. It's all connected. I even made a little chart, and then I'll stop because I know I tend to talk about stuff I'm very passionate about a lot. So I do something called NEAT. It's neural energetic alignment technique, and I like to contrast things. So conditional love, ego-based. Unconditional presence, soul-based. Conditional love seeks validation. Unconditional presence offers safety. Conditional love withholds when triggered. Unconditional presence witnesses without collapsing. Conditional love, if you change, I'll love you. Unconditional presence, even if you don't, I am still love. I am still love. Conditional love, fear of loss. Unconditional presence, faith in source. And the source is love. Love is the source. Love is all there is. The Beatles had it figured out a long time ago. That's being love without an action, but being love is what I found. It's what this Earth School is all about. So thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for bringing up one of my favorite professors as well, Dr. Bruce Lipton. So fascinating and interesting. And so, yes, definitely, I can hear you with your unconditional love and presence. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Dorella, please.
I was thinking while listening to everyone, we are all talking about relationships. And now, with unconditional presence, I would like to talk about oneself. Because actually, without feeding, nurturing our relationship with ourselves, we can't have anything. I like to say that if I don't love myself, I cannot love others. What can you give? Because if you don't know love yourself, you don't know what love is. So you won't be able to give love. And if you don't love yourself, you don't understand the love that you receive. So we have to start with ourselves. We were all taught conditional love, as you already said. So if you have good grades, I will love you. If you do this, I will love you. If you're a good kid, I will love you, and so on. And if we've heard he did that, she did that, so we cannot love them anymore, we always are taught about conditional love. So for me, unconditional presence is this being here for me. And once again, it's that conscious love of understanding I am the creator of my life. So with unconditional presence, I'm here for me, and I can analyze, but not analytical level, but deeper soul level, the meaning of my life. Who am I? Why am I here? And through that love, nurturing the love within, and once more, I say the same thing to see it without. So what's within, we see it all out. I cannot see outside something that's not inside me. Being unconditional presence for me will make me attract in my life people who will offer unconditional presence and love and conscious love. So it all starts with us working within, and then I used to say, I love to say, we have heaven on earth. We don't need to wait for another lifetime to understand what heaven can be. And heaven on earth, it's not about receiving everything, it's about having this harmony in giving love, feeling love, wanting the best for everyone. It's a vibration that brings heaven on earth, not just for us, but for everyone.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Yes, the roots, the foundation of it all, and the beauty of self-love and how it affects others. That's just really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Penny.
Thank you all for your sharing. I've been like listening and trying to also learn from learn from one another, and also hear from everyone's experience on unconscious love. Because for me, unconscious love directly connect with my faith as a Christian, because that is where the Christianity faith come from, and what I've learned, that the higher, divine, and the energy from the higher divine, from God, gives us. Because without that energy, or without the unconscious love that we receive, we're not even here. Like we're not even present to ourselves and to our family. But of course, in this broken world, we have to practice unconditional love, because we receive, but we don't know how to give. And that is the biggest learning that we have to, like, we have to take. And also being a working mom and also in the healthcare field, there is a lot of learning and application. So yes, we can easily offer unconditional love to our family, but it is the practice of unconditional love to ourselves, our community, and the people around us. And it's not by what if, yeah, what if you do this, then I will love you, or what if you do this, then I will give this to you. So it is about offering first, because by offering, it is when we will receive. So without being open and without sharing the unconditional love that nature, God has given to us, without sharing it, and we will not receive. So it is also a very good reminder of our attitude, like of also our, how, like, our relationship with people around us, and also that leads also to our health and well-being too, as Dr. Tom already shared. It will change your health and will change your biochemistry. And also it reminds me of practicing forgiveness. Sorry. Sometimes it's very hard to forgive. Like if someone has done something that is wrong to us, and we still have to unconditionally love that person. And that to me is like an even higher level. Like to practice unconditional love to your family, that's easy. And to practice unconditional love to your clients, to people around you, that's another level. But to practice unconditional love to someone who have hurt you, and also to someone who is never able to compensate for what they have done to you. So that is something that is just going back and forth, how to do that. And don't let that affect your health and wellness, because that is actually the deepest level of pain inside you as well. And that is also at the same time only can be healed by giving your unconditional love. Like it's a very, I would say, like paradox, like someone who deeply hurt you, and then if you don't love back with your unconditional love, it will continue to hurt you and sting you and affect your health. So, and that's something I personally experience. And I'm not saying I am 100% healed, but it is also a process, and how this unconditional love that God has given me and how I take this unconditional love to share to the person who has betrayed you. That is probably the highest level of unconditional love that I also have to learn. Yeah, that's my sharing.
That's beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful you bring up the divinity aspect of things,
Yeah.
how important that is, and the faith. And also that forgiveness piece is such a big piece of that inner love that Dorella was speaking of, and the beauty of not suffering. And that's just so big. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Well, time is flying by. So for the next question, I'm going to give you an option because we're going to go over time here. So you can choose the question you'd like to answer and focus on.
I actually, sorry for interrupting. I have a meeting, so I have
Oh,
to
yes.
hop off.
Oh,
So,
yes.
but
Oh,
thank you again for inviting me.
thank you for being here. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, so we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
So for the next question, I'm going to give you the option to choose which one you'd like to answer or to answer them in tandem. Is when we're speaking about attachment versus sacred intimacy, what does that mean in that whole idea of conscious love? And the other aspect of that, the other question, sorry, is the egoic patterns versus soul resonance. And so I'll invite you to maybe combine them or pick one or anything that feels comfortable in the next round here.
I
So
think
Marty, please go for it.
I think they'll naturally combine anyway. Yeah, that's an interesting topic, attachment versus sacred intimacy. I think, a few years back, I actually learned the whole concept of attachment styles. Prior to that, I thought people were acting willfully, and I had been involved with an avoidant, severely avoidant, until I understood that that was just this, and the four styles are secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized, right? And I think with attachment styles are, well, once again, the sum total of your experiences and coping strategies that you bring into a relationship. So it's really important to understand them, because it really comes down to a compatibility issue at that point. In this example, I had already said, this avoidant, I could unconditionally love this person but can't be with them, because there just wasn't the glue to hold the relationship together, the communication, the openness, all that kind of stuff. And I chose to leave it, though I loved this person unconditionally. So, because it wasn't working out for either of us. So, as compared to sacred intimacy, so we look at attachment as looking back, what we bring into it from the past. And much of that is coping strategies and defense mechanisms and so on, whether they serve our path in a relationship or not. I believe that sacred intimacy is, like I was saying before, two are better than one kind of a thing. We're more powerful if we come together. It's more of a connection to the divine, and that spiritual energy that we bring into the relationship, and not the what we what we what we dragged along with us. And because many of those things that we dragged along don't serve us anymore. So it's a realization and a mutual generosity again, that hey, this, what we have together is much bigger than us. and that's a connection to the divine. So, and it's more of a spiritual practice as opposed to just a quid pro quo kind of arrangement. So, with that having been said, I will move it on to the next person because I know we're out of time here.
Thank you, Marty. That's beautiful. And thank you for bringing that up, the experience that you've had and how you've learned from it. And thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's beautiful. Heather.
Thank you, Melanie. Let's look at attachment versus sacred intimacy. Because I know from personal experience that this one used to run my entire nervous system.
Mm,
I feel that attachment says, I need you to behave a certain way so I can feel safe. And I understand that it's connected to our root chakra, our base chakra, right at the bottom of our spine, because that's all about our legs and feet. It's all connected to our earthly life and feeling secure and feeling safe. And if anybody's watching this and they've got any problems with the lower back, their hips, their legs, it's all connected to this root chakra or base chakra, whichever one you want to label it as. An attachment is control. It's dressed up as connection. It clings, it panics, it scans for threat. And it's usually trauma talking, not the truth. And it's connected to the root chakra because the demon of the root chakra is fear. And it's common when I'm working with my clients that the trauma was before, at, or after their birth. And it can be abandonment, neglect, malnourishment. It can be beliefs from the parents that have been inherited. It can be emotional attachment, guilt, self-punishment, appeasement, conflict, and distrust. They're all the negative energies that can block our base chakra, our root chakra. So that's regarding connection. And then sacred intimacy, on the other hand, that feels expansive. There's no glass ceiling. It allows space. It honors each of us as a soul, as sovereign. I always say to my ladies that I work with, you are the queen. Here is your crown. Because you are sovereign. You don't lose yourself to be loved. You're more yourself because of the love. And there's a steadiness to sacred intimacy. You can be real, you can be raw, and you don't have to twist yourself into a version of enough to feel worthy of it. Because so many of the ladies that I work with say, I wasn't enough, I wasn't slim enough, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't young enough. Whatever it is. But if you're watching this now, I want you to know you are enough. Thank you, Melanie.
beautiful. Yes, thank you. Gorgeous. Please.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's a Buddhist wisdom saying that says, let go or be dragged. And I think that attachment, in my experience, it's like one of the biggest egoic programs. And I think that everyone's articulated the difference between attachments and, the non-attachment, the benefits. But like, I want to make this stuff as simple for myself and for everybody. Like, I need it to be simple for me to implement it, to embody it, because I think that's where the rubber hits the road. Like, this all sounds great, it's wonderful, but if we don't embody it, it doesn't help. So I've invite you to explore this perspective. Everything's either soul residence and true, or a story. Is it soul or is it story? And from what Heather was talking about, everything's energy. Everything. The energy systems are what's creating our bodies, this conversation, the sounds you're hearing from my vocal cords. You know, everything is energy, including soul residence. So am I choosing soul residence, truth, what I like to call true freedom, or the story? And like there's an Eckhart Tolle quote, I think I have it here, is to love is to recognize yourself in another, to be attached is to cling to a form that is destined to change. It's the story. The only time we can experience anything good is right now in this present moment. Everything else is a memory from the past or prediction to the future, or story. So just deciding, like back to Gary Zukav. I know I quote a lot of people because I needed to know this stuff was I wasn't just me thinking it. Like your personality is splintered. It can always authentic power comes when you choose love instead of fear. And I think several spiritual teachers, scientists have alluded to this in so many different ways. And if we're going Bruce Lipton, egoic patterns, they're stored in the subconscious body. And when we shift into soul residence, we change the DNA, the cell's expression. Like this is happening on a DNA level. And it's just deciding on moment to moment, I'm going to choose love and soul resonance instead of the stories. But the egoic mind says, no, but there's not stories. This story really matters. It's so true. Yeah. But it's just, am I aware? So back to what you said at the beginning, it's however you take on this topic, it starts with awareness, a decision, and then aligning with that decision through embodiment. So thank you for letting me share. And by the way, I didn't, if you ever want to find out more about me, drtomhaving.com. Pretty easy to find. Dr. Tom Having. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing us into the now. It's so important. And the stories versus the reality. And that's just really beautiful. Thank you. Dorella.
I think that 3 and 4 go so well together because attachment is emotions that we didn't know how to release, so they're stuck in the body. There's an emotional attachment to the past, and we cannot outgrow it unless we release the trapped emotions. And I don't like to talk, so I never talked about egoic patterns, but patterns like limiting, what's limiting me, because I'm in the pattern and I cannot get out of the pattern unless I know to work with myself or I have outer support. So it's like the attachment is the pattern. It's like seeing it from a different perspective, but for me it's talking about the same thing. The attachment will make me unable to create the sacred intimacy, to feel the vibration of my soul, to create this reality where I'm completely in the conscious love we're talking about today. And with every release, emotional release, change of limiting beliefs, we create something that we were never able to feel before. There is a funny story, I hope. It's like you cannot explain a virgin what sex means. She cannot understand it unless she lives it. So, with the emotional attachment, we cannot understand sacred intimacy and this resonance of the soul. We cannot explain it. I don't remember where I read it, but it says like those who talk about God have never met him or her or whatever, and those who met him never talk about. You cannot give something that someone needs to live from within. So we can guide people, but we cannot explain the things. The experience is something to live, to breathe, to have it. And even though it's like a fantasy book, or I don't know how it's called, the type of the book, for me, the Da Vinci Code was something really amazing. So I don't know if you have read it, but for me, reading the book, we have the signs in whatever we see in our lives. And there, the book, not the movie. Don't watch the movie. The movie, it's horror. they didn't know how to get the essence of the book. And seeing there, so because seeing the sacred intimacy, I was thinking of that. The way I was seeing a relationship, it's really sacred. It's the three, how do you call it? The
Spiritual.
tri, yeah, I don't know. Okay, it's the woman, the man, and God, and through sex you have them together. So instead of having sex as something, an object, something dirty, you understand that you can, the same act can be divine or down to hell. So it's up to us to be in attachment or in sacred.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Way to elevate us all. Thank you so much, everyone. This was such a pleasure to have all of you discussing one of the topics that I'm most fascinated in. And so I'm sorry that we went over time for you guys, but I really appreciate you sharing your time with us today. Please, everyone watching, go into the comments. You'll find everybody's links there. We'll make sure that we have all the websites, all the way to reach these beautiful souls, and so that you can connect with someone new and get some inspiration into your world. And I just have a closing quote here that love is not something we find, it's something we choose, breathe, embody, and become again and again in every conscious moment. And so we talked a lot about that today. And so I hope that that summarizes everything really well. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to having you again. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we'll be back again soon with more of these workshops. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.